mental.
That is
absolutely mental.
That's like, so wild.
It's absolutely mental. Like.
What's up, Brite Nation? Now, for those of you who have not been following along on the YouTube channel,
stop. Y'all need to go back a few videos and get caught up.
Because, spoiler alert, we bought a brand new 392 Rubicon. What's the big deal with that? Nothing, until you consider the fact that we instantly ripped it apart. We're gonna rip out that 392, and we're gonna throw in a f***ing Demon engine. Because why? Because why not? And we're super stoked because you're about to witness the birth of the Demon child. Oh, it is the Jeep birth.
She's been so corny.
In our defense, though, this is probably the dumbest thing that we have ever done. And by dumb, I mean the f***ing coolest thing that we have ever done. I am so super stoked about this. And if you have questions about why we chose a 392, all of that stuff, we already covered it. It's in the first video. Go back. I'm not going to go over it again.
Also, who else gives you the option to put a Demon into a Jeep besides America's Most Wanted? I mean, a Demon, Elephants, Hellcats. So we figured why not?
I will say though, keep in mind, this is the first time anyone has ever done anything like this with a 392. So it should be very interesting.
So it is all uncharted territory.
We have a long way to go. First things first though, as you can see, we've already got the body off of the frame. Next step, we have to get this frame rolled out of here and completely disassembled because there is a lot of prep work that needs to be done because what we're about to do is not just an engine swap. We are doing an entire vehicle conversion with America's Most Wanted 4x4. Front to back, outside to inside, this entire Jeep is gonna be completely different by the time that we're done here. Well, probably not done with this video because there's a lot of work. There will probably be multiple more videos to come, but a lot of work's got to get done in this segment for sure. Now, Chris and Beck and the other guys here at America's Most Wanted 4x4 are almost done fully stripping down the frame of the soon-to-be Demon Child. Now, they've still got a few things left to kind of pull out their suspension and stuff like that. And once they do that, they'll be able to roll it over to a different portion of the shop because there's still a ton of stuff that needs to get done before we can drop the new heartbeat, the new Demon engine into the frame. But while they're doing that, Kevin and I are gonna go do something way more fun because we want to show you guys something super rad. Now, a lot of you guys suspected or said that we should be getting a elephant swap. That, like, if we're gonna do it, knowing Kevin, he wants the biggest, he wants the baddest, and if we're gonna do something, we're gonna swap something, we might as well go all the way because we know eventually that's where Kevin's gonna want to end up. Which, in the case of America's Most Wanted, that would be a elephant swap. So we are currently, not in our vehicle obviously, but a elephant swapped Jeep Gladiator. And this thing is sick. Not only does it look like super sexy, the blue is just gorgeous. And I'm a little bit upset that maybe we didn't, but again,
I wanted the blue, you said no.
Okay, but I like the blue in the Gladiator. I like the look of the fact that this is a Gladiator, but they don't come with a 392 Gladiator from factory yet, or probably ever, honestly, since they've
the engine anyway.
I know, but the whole point is like ripping out a 392 and throwing a Demon into it, and plus the 392.
We got a credit.
Yeah.
We got a credit.
Yeah. So it makes sense, right, for us to go with the 392 rather than just like a base model something other. But
I mean, makes sense.
It makes sense.
I don't think it makes any sense. This isn't mine. I'm being like that was only
very gentle.
That was literally like 70% throttle. I didn't even put it all the way down.
We're being very gentle, but we are going somewhere where someone else doesn't have to necessarily be quite as gentle to show you guys what this thing is really capable of, and it is mind-blowing.
is dope.
Dude, holy fuck.
I'm glad I've been doing some workouts because my abs trying to hold myself up here to film this is insane. That is absolutely mental. Like, it is absolutely mental. I don't even, I can't even.
Frick! We went with the Demon! Not that I'm like upset about that, but at the same time, that's sick! It's so sick!
That is absolutely mental.
That
is absolutely mental.
That's
Like,
so wild!
It's absolutely mental. Like, I can't even. It is mental. That's it. The best word to describe this is mental. Mental. That word sounds funny. I'm saying it so much now.
Dream big, 'cause boy, you're gonna make it. Stand tall, there's a higher road you're taking. Let go of everything that you know and be wild in the mystery. Yeah. I've been in the darkness for 40 days. I've been searching for holy flames, a sign to light up the way. So can you help me out? Can you help me out?
Okay, so now while we have a minute, I think what a lot of people don't realize is they have fully built turnkey vehicles. It's ready to go. Like, you walk in, you pay them, they hand you the keys, and you walk out with a brand new rearing and roaring vehicle.
And even though I have Chris and we have a shop, I'll tell you what, no lie, I would rather just buy one done. Because I'd rather drive. I'm a driver. I love driving, and I hate the downtime.
Downtime sucks.
I hate the building process. I know you guys love watching it, and we'll show you guys stuff.
And it's informative, and it's cool, and that's part of the reason why we're doing it.
But to me, I would rather just call up AMW and go, oh, hey, that blue Gladiator that you have with that Hellefin or that Demon or whatever, I want that. And they'll just put it on a truck and just
it's
ship
just
it to
so
you.
much easier. But
actually, don't put it on a truck and ship it to you. Fly here,
and
get in
drive
it, and drive it wherever you live. I don't care if it's Cuba and you need to, I don't care where it's at. You need to actually fly here and do it.
think logistically.
Well, you would have to build a bridge and or make it float. Yeah.
But anyways, point is, it is insane the level of detail these things have.
I forgot my pistol. I don't have my gun. When I shoot, I miss. I have to focus right now. The beats, the stakes are running very hard. Drive through. You see my hands are tied.
All right, so now that the boys have completely stripped the frame on our 392, as you can see, it's nice and mostly bare, I get to introduce you to Miss Peyton. So she's actually one of the ones that's gonna be cutting, grinding, and of course, then she's gonna be welding a bunch of new stuff onto the frame because this is really extensive.
Very. So in our frame process, we do cut off a lot of the factory mounts. We have the crash towers, we trim body mounts, we get rid of the old shock towers, of course, and the motor mounts. Then for our long arm, we cut off the control arm mounts. Back here, we trim for the rear long arm brackets and add the rears in. Then, of course, we add in our own gussets. Eventually, you'll see them over on the table. And then our rear coil towers, along with a track bar bracket.
You can see like they've already gone ahead and they've marked everything that needs to be cut or trimmed, and there is a whole heckin' lot on this frame that needs attention right now. This is probably one of the longest processes of the entire build, because this build is not just an engine swap, as we mentioned. It's quite a lot more than that.
So Britt and I just got back from lunch. I thought I'd come over and check on the frame, and this is literally done. I mean, it's just past lunch. We just what do we have? We had
Jersey Mike's, which has the best Philly cheesesteaks fight me in the world.
So Jersey Mike's. Then we went to Culver's and got some ice cream, and it came back, and it's literally all cleaned up, all pretty, and ready for the next step, which I guess. Well, let's have Peyton go over what the next step is. All right, so we got Peyton here. You met her earlier. The guys have all been helping her, but she's gonna go over why she has a table full of metal, because she cut everything off, but now we have to add everything back on. And as you can see, we should grab a piece of the old metal to see the difference between the new shock tower brackets and like what the old were. But let's go over real quick, Peyton, what exactly you have going on here.
All right, so we have both our front coil towers right here.
Because we're going coilovers. Get some Bilstein coilovers on the way.
And then along with our frame sleeves that go a part of it, and then all these filler pieces and the track bar bracket, we have our rear gussets that are custom made for our JLs.
So these gussets reinforce the frame, and they are where the old spring buckets in the rear were. Remember on the Stepchild where the buckets were completely torn off the frame? Well, those are gone now because we're going to be coilovers. Then these go in their place to help
just
reinforce the frame so there's not any twisty boy.
All right, then we have our winch pins that go in the front to help support the winch since there's no more crash towers. We have our engine mounts here, rear track bar, front bump cans, rear towers, rear bump cans. Then we have our long arm brackets.
Wait, are they engine mounts or motor mounts?
Engine mounts.
I don't know if she ever saw that video,
She
but
probably never saw the video.
still an argument.
Wait, do you engine boat or motorboat?
You motorboat, thank you very much.
All right, so this is pretty cool. So this is a template here for the towers, and they go ahead and mock it up, and it gets stuck in through the holes here, and then she just hit it with some spray paint so it actually comes through, and this is going to show exactly how far and how much of the frame to cut out. And you see they already welded the motor mounts in, and she might know how to stack a little weld.
Stack a dime or two.
Or two.
Good old frame here, fabrication department. Give her a go. That's supposed to be it.
So this giant gaping hole that looks extremely terrifying. So this is one of those trust the process situations. It looks scary, but don't worry, everything's gonna get reinforced and plated and everything like that. So this is not gonna be a concern later. However, it is gonna allow us to put some super rad suspension on this build.
Peyton, what are you doing?
Putting in the bump can.
So you got this all tacked up? So
Yep.
This is the tower for the coilover. So coilover here, look how sick that looks. And then we'll have hydro bumps.
So right now she's just mocking it up essentially to make sure everything's lining up and angled the way it needs to be.
And we got the boys over here getting that side ready.
Yep. We got Hayden and Todd doing, what are you doing?
We are doing the JLJK mod for the gearbox.
Oh, this is for the gearbox.
Yes, sir.
So the gearbox is a special, specific setup for America's Most Wanted. It's not just a stock gearbox or a PSC. It's a PSC gearbox, but they do a special mod and use something only for America's Most Wanted.
Okay, so you guys remember how Beck recently went to Provo High to show their shop class and everything? I just want to let you know, Peyton is 20 years old, and Todd and Hayden are both 19. I just found that out, and the last couple weeks, completely renewing my faith in and giving me hope for future generations, because that is insanely phenomenal work that they're doing to the new frame on our Jeep. This is awesome. All right, so you might notice, clearly, we now have this thing strapped down to a trailer, and the reason for that is America's Most Wanted actually takes this whole process one step further. Now that all the new mounts and brackets and tabs are all welded on, thank you Peyton, Todd, and Hayden, so this thing is actually gonna get sent off to be sandblasted and powder coated. That way it'll come back fresh, new, and ready for full assembly. It's gonna look super clean and essentially OE again when it gets back here. Ta-da! All right, so we have the frame officially back from powder coating, and it is super clean. And one of the differences between this and like what you would expect from OE, I kind of want to show you real quick.
All right, all you Jeep owners, and especially JL, new JL owners, y'all need to look at this frame real quick. This is the JL frame, and you can see all the rust on the welds here. Look at here, see how, and it's, I guess it's probably surface rust right now, but that's gonna get deeper and deeper. This is all factory. There's nothing been touched or done to this. Look at this whole rear weld here. So the factory, it welds it, and then it looks like they're painting it way too quickly, and it's bubbling up, and some of the paint's flaking off, leaving an open weld, which is no good, especially if you live up north. But anywhere you live, you don't want open weld spots. So this new frame, where America's Most Wanted actually has the whole thing powder coated. Show them the welds on that.
See right here. Full coverage, no exposure, no issues, or at least significantly fewer issues that you'll find yourself experiencing in the future.
Right, so this makes it a lot nicer, and plus, I mean, obviously they went in and welded all the towers. You can see all the welds. I'm kind of sad because Peyton's welds are so nice, but then they get covered up with the frickin' powder coat. I actually wanted them to blast it, and then we were going to retorch the welds for the color, and I wanted to clear coat it.
The downside to that is that as you bash it on things, aka rocks off-road, it's harder to tell where you've chipped away and where you need to until it starts rusting, and at that point it just looks like crap. After a few years it would look terrible.
So on the stepchild frame, I've actually gone through a lot of this stuff and I've spray painted it, and just when we had the body off, I have spray painted like that. We spray painted the top side. But underneath, I would get underneath your Jeep and look at these brackets, and if the factory ones, and I would touch it up with some Rust-Oleum or something, especially if you live somewhere that gets cold and they use salt or any crap on the roads.
All right, you guys, so we're getting really close to the point where we can drop the Demon engine into the frame. But of course, there's still at least one very important step before we do that, and that's the suspension. Most of you probably guessed that we're running Bilsteins, but we're changing it up from just about every other vehicle that we own, and that's because these are the Bilstein V8 8125 coilovers. That's what's going on the Demon Child. Now these specifically come in a bunch of different travel lengths, anywhere from 5 inches of stroke all the way up to 16 inches of stroke. I love talking about shocks because that's what she said moments.
Are you used to 5 inches of stroke though? Is that what you're...
In addition to that, these also come in 46 millimeter and 60 millimeter monotubes. Now for us specifically and for the Demon Child, we're running 12 inches on all 4 corners and 60 millimeter monotubes. But these in particular are really special. If you look closely at that sticker right there, it says Lite Brite Custom on it. Now, the reason that it says that is because if you look here, we are actually running the first ever prototype coilovers that have dual compression adjustability. So we've got both low compression and high compression speed adjustments on here. We've got 20 clicks on the low speed and 10 clicks on the high speed. And although these are technically the first ever prototype, this is something that they plan on making. If it's something that you're interested in, 10 out of 10, reach out to Bilstein, let them know you're interested so that they can get you some similar to it. But obviously we'll let you know how they work for us very, very soon because these are gonna be super sick.
Yeah, we'll actually be shock tuning with them and testing them out, probably going through some different iterations of valve shims inside. They might have nailed it, I don't know yet, but
it's Bilstein. I have a feeling that they might have nailed it pretty well.
We'll see what happens, but they're talking maybe about 3 months out.
That'll be just enough time for us to let you know via YouTube and on our videos how we like them. That way you guys can know whether or not it's something you want to add to your vehicle. But these go on next.
Messing around, calling all you freaks and nerds. You're just missing what you want. My brother's going down the drain. My sister's living the dream. But everybody's singing along. It's okay, we'll all soon be gone.
Okay, so a couple of things. First off, Jelly got into a fight with a cat and lost. Her little scratch on her faces. She actually was ambushed. She was walking by a bush and a cat jumped out and like batted her a couple times and took off. And Jelly had no idea what was going on until it was too late and the cat was gone. Anyways, in addition to that, these, just so you know, are actually not the wheels or the tires that will be going on the Demon Child at the end. These are just rollers that we put on for the time being because we are still waiting for the final wheels to arrive, which are gonna be super sick. All right, you guys, so at this point, we're actually ready to lift up the entire powertrain and drop it into the frame. But before we do...
The nuclear warhead.
The nuclear warhead. So before we do, though, I do want to go over exactly what it is that you're looking at for those of you that might not know. So the new heartbeat for the Demon Child is obviously going to be a Demon engine, which makes 840 horsepower. But attached to it is an 8 HP 95 transmission. Now, just to give you reference here, it's 950 Newton meters, which equates to about 700 foot-pounds of torque that this thing can take. Now, the 390...
It can actually take way more. That's their safe number.
That's their safe number. Now the 392 from factory came with an 8 HP 75, so we have a stronger transmission. We also have the America's Most Wanted custom billet transfer case adapter, which is attached to no longer the 2.7 to 1 transfer case that came from factory in the 392. Instead, this is now a 4 to 1 transfer case. This is what you would generally find in a 3.6 JL Rubicon, right? So this is gonna give us a better gearing ratio for what we wanna do off-road. With the power, this entire thing is gonna be fantastic and a whole lot of fun off-road and on-road.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe Brittany did choose. It looks good. It's red. It's
I'm
badass.
so excited.
Yeah, I think she chose the right one. I don't know what I was thinking with the Hellcat. I was thinking practicality with the Hellcat.
I don't think practicality and Hellcat technically should ever go in the same sentence.
In a Jeep.
But neither realistically should 426 or even to a point 392.
So people keep asking, why 426? Why a 392? Why a Hellcat? Why a Jeep? Like, why which one? The choice is whatever you can afford. That's it. Like, or the choice. The answer is whatever you can afford. That is the. But,
I think that's part of the answer.
It's whatever you can afford. But here, look at it this way. Naturally aspirated, 392, 426. Simple, no supercharger heat, no supercharger whine. Hellcat, a little bit of supercharger whine, lots of power.
A little bit of heat.
Yeah. Fuel economy. And yes, I know, but it does go down the more power that you have. Then Demon, tons of supercharger whine, always loud, and way less fuel economy. Every time you push that gas, you got to think it is sucking so much more fuel. Because I think even the Hellcats run off of one fuel pump, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I know the Demon and the Elephant both run off of 2 fuel pumps because they need the fuel. So, which one to choose? The one you can afford and the one that you want the sound of.
The one that also fits your interests and your needs. Some people are totally fine with the good old 3.6. Clearly,
that's fine.
Clearly, Kevin and I were not from the very beginning because instantly he wanted more power.
Yeah.
We're just those type of people. We're automotive enthusiasts. We're race car drivers. We love things that go fast.
Pretend race car drivers.
Yeah, and we love things that sound amazing. I think it's awesome that we picked maybe not quite the most horsepower, but we definitely picked like the meanest sounding, the loudest, the one that's gonna scream in your ear. And we personally are so excited about it.
Pretty excited. I think I'm just excited about the red engine and the red valve covers.
The color, okay, because that's why. That's definitely why. But guys, again, you're witnessing the birth of the Demon Child right now. I'm so stoked about the rest of this. Obviously, we've got to wrap up a little bit on the frame, getting some stuff buttoned together, as well as underneath the hood. But hopefully in the next video, you'll see that on top of that.
And by we, she means them.
Antian and the other guys here at America's Most Wanted 4x4 that are helping us out. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, you can find all your Lite Brite Nation merch and decals at litebreakstudios.com. Guys, as always, we love you. And we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.